Captain Jake Morrison stood at the docking bay window, watching the alien ship approach. The vessel looked like a giant silver bubble floating through space. After 3 months of messages back and forth, the Galactic Council was finally sending someone to meet humanity face to face. The airlock hissed open and Ambassador Zekthara stepped through. The alien stood 7 feet tall with purple skin that seemed to glow under the station lights. 4 arms moved in flowing gestures as he spoke through a translation device attached to his chest. "Greetings, Captain Morrison. I am here to conduct the preliminary assessment for your species' potential membership in the Galactic Council." Jake smiled and extended his hand. The alien stared at the gesture for a long moment, before carefully touching Jake's palm with one finger. "Welcome to Harmony Station, Ambassador. We're excited to show you what humanity has to offer." Dr. Lisa Park arrived with her team of scientists. She carried a tablet loaded with presentations about Earth and human civilization. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she began setting up the conference room. "Ambassador Zekthara, we've prepared a comprehensive overview of our planet and species. I think you'll find Earth quite remarkable." The alien delegation settled into specially designed chairs. Besides the ambassador, there were 3 other species represented: a crystalline being that looked like living glass, a blue-skinned humanoid with gills on his neck, and a small furry creature with 6 eyes. Lisa started her presentation with basic facts about Earth. Our planet orbits a G-type star at a distance of approximately 150 million kilometers. We have one natural satellite, which we call the Moon. The aliens nodded politely, making notes on their devices. Earth has a surface gravity of 1 g, which I assume is similar to most inhabited worlds. Our atmosphere is roughly 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen, with trace amounts of other gases. Ambassador Zekthara stopped writing and looked up sharply. "Did you say 21% oxygen?" "Yes, that's correct. Is there a problem?" The ambassador exchanged glances with his colleagues. The crystalline being was vibrating slightly, which Lisa assumed meant he was thinking hard. "Please continue, Dr. Park." Lisa pulled up images of Earth from space. "As you can see, our planet has large bodies of liquid water covering about 71% of the surface. We call these oceans. The remaining 29% is land mass, divided into 7 continents." The blue-skinned alien with gills made a choking sound. "Liquid water. On the surface? Yes. Water exists in all 3 states on Earth naturally. Liquid in our oceans and rivers, solid as ice at our polar regions, and gas as water vapor in our atmosphere." The small furry alien began hyperventilating. Ambassador Zekthara quickly activated a medical device and held it near the creature until its breathing returned to normal. "Dr. Park, when you say ice at the polar regions, how much of your planet's surface experiences freezing temperatures?" Lisa thought for a moment. "Well, it varies by season. During winter months, ice and snow can cover up to 30% of our land surface. Some areas remain frozen year-round." "Season?" The crystalline being's voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "Your planet's temperature changes regularly?" "Of course. Earth's axial tilt means different parts of the planet receive varying amounts of sunlight throughout our year. Temperature differences can range from -40 degrees Celsius in winter to +50 degrees Celsius in summer, depending on location." All 4 aliens were now writing frantically. Ambassador Zekthara's purple skin had shifted to a darker shade. "Dr. Park, you mentioned that water falls from your sky. How often does this occur?" Lisa laughed. "Rain is completely normal. Most regions of Earth receive precipitation regularly. Some areas get rain almost daily, while others might only see it during certain seasons." She pulled up a weather map showing cloud formations over North America. "This is real-time weather data from Earth right now. Those white swirls are storm systems bringing rain to different regions." The furry alien fainted. Ambassador Zekthara called for medical assistance while continuing to take notes. "These storm systems, are they dangerous to your population?" "Some can be. We have hurricanes, tornadoes, thunderstorms, and blizzards. But humans have learned to adapt. We build structures to withstand high winds. We have warning systems for severe weather, and we've developed technology to help us travel safely, even during storms." Lieutenant Colonel Rick Hayes entered the conference room, drawn by the commotion around the unconscious alien. He noticed the tension in the room immediately. "Is everything all right here, Dr. Park?" "I think our guests are just surprised by some of Earth's characteristics. I was explaining our weather patterns." Rick nodded. "Earth does keep us on our toes. Just last week we had a pretty good thunderstorm that knocked out power for a few hours. The crystalline being made a sound like glass breaking." "You lost power and survived?" "Sure, happens all the time. We have backup systems and emergency protocols. Most humans keep flashlights and emergency supplies ready for situations like that." Ambassador Zekathara stood abruptly. "Dr. Park, I need to ask a very important question. How many humans live on your planet?" "Approximately 8 billion people live on Earth across all 7 continents." "Including the frozen regions you mentioned?" "Yes. We have research stations in Antarctica and permanent settlements in Arctic regions. Humans have adapted to live in virtually every environment on Earth." The ambassador's skin was now almost black. He activated his communication device and spoke rapidly in his own language. Lisa couldn't understand the words, but his tone suggested urgency. "Ambassador, is there something wrong? We want to be completely honest about our planet and our species." Zekathara turned back to the humans, his forearms moving in what appeared to be distress signals. "Dr. Park, Captain Morrison, I need to consult with my superiors immediately. The information you've provided requires immediate analysis by our Planetary Classification Committee." Rick stepped forward. "Classification Committee? We categorize planets based on their survival difficulty rating. What you describe as normal conditions on Earth are concerning from our perspective." Jake frowned. "Concerning how?" "Captain, in all our records, no intelligent species has ever evolved on a planet with such extreme environmental variables. The combination of temperature fluctuations, atmospheric water precipitation, high oxygen content, and surface liquid water suggests a Class 12 Deathworld at minimum." Lisa's eyes widened. "Deathworld?" Ambassador Zekathara was already heading toward the airlock with his delegation. The medical team was carrying the still unconscious furry alien on a stretcher. "Dr. Park, we will need extensive documentation of your planet's geological activity, weather patterns, flora, fauna, and detailed information about human survival capabilities. What you consider normal, we consider impossible." As the alien ship departed, Jake and Lisa stood in the observation deck watching it disappear into space. "Think we said something wrong?" Jake asked. Lisa shook her head slowly. "I think we just scared the hell out of them by describing a normal Tuesday on Earth." Neither of them noticed the priority transmission being sent from the alien vessel to the Galactic Council headquarters. Ambassador Zekathara's urgent message contained a single recommendation that would change humanity's future forever. Immediate reclassification required. Earth shows characteristics of Class 15 Deathworld, possibly higher. Request emergency. Consultation with Survival Committee. The humans appear to thrive in conditions that would eliminate most known species. 3 days after Ambassador Zekathara's hasty departure, a much larger alien vessel arrived at Harmony Station. This ship carried 12 representatives from the Galactic Council's Planetary Classification Committee, along with several species that specialized in Deathworld analysis. Captain Jake Morrison greeted the new delegation in the main conference room. The group included Ambassador Zekathara, who looked much more nervous than during his first visit. A tall insectoid creature with multiple eyes introduced herself as Committee Chair Vexara. "Captain Morrison, we need detailed information about your planet's oceanic systems. Our preliminary data suggests impossible conditions." Dr. Amanda Foster, Earth's leading marine biologist, had prepared an extensive presentation. She smiled warmly at the assembled aliens as she activated the holographic display system. "I'm excited to share information about Earth's magnificent oceans. They cover most of our planet and support incredible biodiversity." The first image showed the Pacific Ocean during what Amanda considered calm conditions. Waves rolled across the surface, each one about 15 feet high. The alien delegation immediately began making distressed noises. Dr. Foster interrupted, a blue-scaled aquatic alien named Mordex. "Are those waves normal for your water bodies?" Oh yes, these are quite small actually. This was taken during peaceful weather. Let me show you what we consider moderate wave activity. Amanda switched to footage of 40-foot waves crashing against a rocky coastline. The spray shot hundreds of feet into the air as tons of water smashed against the rocks with tremendous force. 3 aliens immediately requested medical attention. Committee chair. Vexara's compound eyes were dilating in what appeared to be shock. Dr. Foster, how do your people travel across these death seas? Amanda laughed. We've been sailing across oceans for thousands of years. Modern ships are designed to handle much worse conditions than this. Would you like to see footage of vessels operating during storm conditions? Before anyone could object, Amanda pulled up video of a cargo ship pushing through a hurricane. The massive vessel rode up and down waves that towered over its deck. Lightning flashed in the background while rain poured down in sheets. This is the container ship Pacific Glory navigating through Hurricane Daniel last year. The crew reported it as a rough but manageable journey. Ambassador Zekthara was hyperventilating. Your people voluntarily travel through such conditions? Of course. Commerce must continue regardless of weather. Our shipping industry moves billions of tons of cargo across the oceans every year. Dr. Foster switched to underwater footage, showing the ocean floor thousands of feet below the surface. The deepest parts of our oceans reach over 36,000 feet down. The pressure would crush most materials, but we've developed submarines that can reach these depths for research. The crystalline alien Sharduk began vibrating so violently that his colleagues worried he might shatter. You send your people into the crushing depths voluntarily. Absolutely. Deep ocean research is vital for understanding our planet. We've mapped most of the ocean floor and discovered amazing ecosystems in the deepest trenches. Amanda's enthusiasm grew as she showed footage of various sea creatures. Our oceans support incredible life forms. Here's a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth. They can grow up to 100 feet long and weigh 200 tons. The footage showed a massive blue whale surfacing near a research vessel that looked tiny in comparison. The alien delegation stared in horror as the enormous creature dove back beneath the waves. And here are some of our apex predators. Amanda continued, displaying video of great white sharks hunting. These sharks can grow up to 20 feet long and bite with a force of over 4,000 pounds per square inch. Mordex, the aquatic alien, made gurgling sounds that his translator interpreted as distress calls. Your people share these waters with such predators? Yes, millions of humans swim, surf, and dive in the ocean every day. Shark attacks are extremely rare. We've learned to coexist with marine life. She showed footage of surfers riding 30-foot waves while sharks swam nearby, completely unbothered by the massive predators. Engineer Paul Davis joined the presentation to discuss human maritime technology. Our ships are built to withstand the ocean's power. Here's footage of an oil platform operating in the North Sea during winter storms. The video showed a massive drilling platform being hammered by 60-foot waves. Ice formed on every surface, as the structure endured winds over 100 miles per hour. Workers in heavy survival suits continued their operations, despite the brutal conditions. Those workers, Paul explained, rotate shifts every few weeks. They're trained to work safely in these environments. Committee Chair Vexara spoke in a trembling voice. You extract resources from the ocean floor during active storms? Weather doesn't stop for business. Our offshore industries operate year-round in all conditions. Workers are well-trained and equipped with advanced safety gear. Paul showed footage of rescue helicopters pulling workers from oil rigs during emergency evacuations. The aircraft battled fierce winds and horizontal rain to save lives. This is our Coast Guard performing a routine rescue operation during a moderate storm. They saved 12 workers from a damaged platform. The word routine caused 4 aliens to simultaneously activate their emergency medical devices. Dr. Foster returned to show more ocean footage. Our recreational activities include deep-sea fishing, scuba diving, and competitive sailing. Here's video from last year's Around the World yacht race. The footage showed small sailing vessels being tossed around in massive swells. One boat completely disappeared under a wave before emerging moments later, crew members calmly adjusting the sails. The winner completed the 27,000-mile journey in just over 74 days, facing storms, icebergs, and equipment failures along the way. Ambassador Zekthara stood abruptly. "Dr. Foster, you're telling us that humans voluntarily sail small vessels across your death seas for entertainment?" Racing around the world solo is considered one of our greatest sailing challenges. Hundreds of humans have completed the journey. The presentation concluded with footage of children playing at the beach, swimming in the same waters that contained sharks, riding waves on small boards, and building sand castles while adults surfed nearby. Ocean recreation is a normal part of human life. Millions of families visit beaches every year for vacation. As the alien delegation filed out of the conference room, many requiring medical assistance, Committee Chair Vexara approached Captain Morrison. "Captain, we need to reassess our initial classification. Any species that treat such conditions as recreational activities clearly evolved under circumstances we don't fully understand." Jake watched the aliens struggle to comprehend humanity's casual relationship with Earth's oceans. "Is there a problem with our water activities?" Vexara's multiple eyes focused on him with what might have been pity. "Captain, what you call swimming for fun, we would classify as attempting suicide in acid while being hunted by monsters." That evening, Ambassador Zekthara filed another urgent report with the Council. His recommendation had changed dramatically. Upgrading classification to Level 14 Deathworld minimum. Humans demonstrate incomprehensible survival capabilities in aquatic death zones. Species appears to have weaponized their own planet's hostility for recreational purposes. Request immediate consultation with Xenopsychology Department to determine if humans understand the concept of self-preservation. A week later, the Galactic Council sent their biological assessment team to Harmony Station. The group included medical specialists from 12 different species, all experts in studying how life forms adapt to hostile environments. Committee. Chair Vexara had requested detailed information about human biology and physical capabilities. Dr. Kevin Turner, Earth's leading sports medicine physician, waited in the medical bay with several volunteers from the station crew. He had prepared demonstrations of normal human physical abilities, completely unaware of the panic his previous colleagues had caused. The alien medical team entered cautiously. Their leader, a thin gray creature called Dr. Zilthian, carried scanning equipment that looked like a cross between a medical device and a weapon. "Dr. Turner, we need to understand how your species survives on such a hostile planet. Please demonstrate basic human physical capabilities." Kevin smiled and gestured to Lieutenant Sarah Brooks, a marathon runner from the station's security team. "Let's start with endurance. Sarah here can run for over 2 hours without stopping." Sarah stepped onto the treadmill and began running at a steady pace. The aliens watched their scanning devices with growing alarm as her heart rate stabilized and her breathing remained controlled. "She's moving at 12 kilometers per hour, Kevin explained. "This is a comfortable pace she can maintain for hours. During competitions, she can run a full marathon in under 3 hours. Dr. Zilthan's scanner was beeping frantically. Her internal systems should be failing. No creature can sustain such energy output without cellular damage. Actually, regular exercise makes humans stronger. Watch this." Kevin signaled to Sergeant Mike Chen, the station's fitness instructor. Mike approached a weight rack and began lifting metal bars loaded with circular weights. Mike can lift approximately 150 kilograms above his head. That's more than twice his body weight. Mike completed several repetitions, his muscles bulging as he controlled the massive weight. The alien medical team backed away as if he might explode. "How is this possible?" whispered a slug-like alien whose translator struggled with the rapid speech. His skeletal structure should collapse under such stress. Human bones and muscles adapt to stress by becoming stronger. The more we challenge our bodies, the more capable they become. Kevin showed footage of Olympic weightlifters hoisting enormous weights above their heads. The current human record for lifting weight overhead is over 260 kilograms. Some humans can deadlift over 500 kilograms. 3 aliens immediately activated emergency medical protocols on themselves. Dr. Zilthan studied his readings carefully. Dr. Turner, your species deliberately damages your bodies to make them stronger. Exercise causes tiny tears in muscle fiber that heal back stronger than before. We call it adaptation. Here, let me show you combat sports. Kevin displayed video, footage from mixed martial arts competitions. Two humans grappled and struck each other with tremendous force, absorbing blows that would crush most alien species. These fighters trained for years to develop these abilities. They can take hits that would break bones and continue fighting. The footage showed a fighter getting punched in the face, shaking his head, and immediately counterattacking. Blood streamed from his nose, but he continued fighting for several more minutes. He's bleeding from facial trauma but maintains combat effectiveness, Dr. Zilthan noted with disbelief. On my world, such injury would require immediate hospitalization. Humans have excellent pain tolerance and healing capabilities. Watch this. Kevin showed extreme sports footage. Humans jumped from aircraft with small parachutes, climbed vertical rock faces using only their hands and feet, and rode bicycles down steep mountains at dangerous speeds. These are recreational activities. Humans do this for fun during their free time. A furry alien with multiple tails began hyperventilating. They voluntarily fall from great heights and climb impossible surfaces for enjoyment. Extreme sports are very popular. Some humans specialize in surviving in harsh environments with minimal equipment. Kevin displayed survival show footage where humans lived alone in frozen wilderness, scorching deserts, and dense jungles using only basic tools. This man survived for 30 days in the Arctic with just a knife and some rope. He built shelter, made fire, and caught food using primitive methods. The video showed the human building an ice shelter, catching fish through holes in frozen lakes, and sleeping comfortably in temperatures that would freeze most alien species solid. Nutritionist Carol Wright joined the presentation to discuss human dietary habits. Humans are omnivores. We consume both plant and animal matter to meet our nutritional needs. She displayed images of various human foods. The alien delegation recoiled when she showed meat dishes. We cook the flesh of other animals at high temperatures and consume it regularly. Humans also eat many plants that would be toxic to other species. Carol showed footage of humans eating spicy foods, their faces red and sweating from the heat, of chemical compounds that would cause severe burns to most aliens. These peppers contain capsaicin, a chemical that causes intense burning sensations. Humans eat them voluntarily and often compete to consume the spiciest varieties. The video showed a human eating peppers so hot that tears streamed down his face. Yet he continued eating and claimed to enjoy the experience. Some humans build tolerance to increasingly hot foods over time. They train their bodies to handle chemical compounds that would hospitalize most species. Dr. Zilthan was frantically taking notes. Your species consumes toxins for pleasure and builds resistance through repeated exposure. We also consume fermented beverages that contain ethanol, a poison that affects our nervous systems. Many humans drink alcohol regularly without permanent damage. Carol showed footage of humans drinking various alcoholic beverages, laughing and socializing despite consuming what most aliens would consider industrial solvents. Colonel Ben Parker arrived to discuss human military training. Our soldiers learn to survive in every environment on Earth. They train in deserts, jungles, mountains, and Arctic conditions. He showed footage of military personnel crawling through mud under barbed wire, rappelling down cliffs, and marching long distances while carrying heavy equipment. Basic training lasts several months. We teach soldiers to function effectively while sleep-deprived, hungry, and under extreme stress. The video showed exhausted recruits completing obstacle courses, their instructors shouting commands while they struggled through physical challenges that would kill most alien species. After basic training, specialized units receive even more intense preparation. Our special forces can survive behind enemy lines for weeks using only what they can carry. As the presentation concluded, Dr. Zilthan approached Kevin with obvious concern. Dr. Turner, does your species understand that you're describing abilities that should be impossible for carbon-based life forms? Kevin laughed. Humans are pretty tough, but we're not superhuman. Anyone can develop these abilities with proper training and conditioning. That evening, Dr. Zilthan filed his biological assessment report. His conclusion was stark. Recommend immediate upgrade to level 15 Deathworld classification. Human species demonstrates impossible survival capabilities, including voluntary cellular damage for strength enhancement, consumption of toxins for pleasure, and deliberate exposure to lethal conditions for entertainment. Request emergency psychological evaluation to determine if humans possess normal self-preservation instincts. 2 weeks after the biological assessment team's hasty departure, the largest alien delegation yet arrived at Harmony Station. This group included xenopsychologists, cultural analysts, and historians from across the galaxy. They came seeking answers to a disturbing question. How did an intelligent species evolve on a planet that should have killed them? Dr. Helen Moore, Earth's senior historian, welcomed the nervous delegation in the station's largest conference room. She had prepared what she thought would be an inspiring presentation about human civilization and cultural achievements. Committee Chair Vexara introduced the team's leader, a pale humanoid with oversized cranium called Dr. Kethrol. Dr. Moore, we need to understand how your species developed civilization under such impossible conditions. Helen smiled warmly and activated her presentation system. I'm delighted to share humanity's remarkable journey from primitive hunter-gatherers to spacefaring civilization. The first image showed early humans living in caves during an ice age. Snow and ice covered most of the landscape, while small groups of humans huddled around fires. Our ancestors survived multiple ice ages lasting thousands of years. During these periods, much of Earth was covered in glaciers and temperatures dropped far below freezing. Dr. Kethrol's large eyes widened in disbelief. Your species survived. Planetary-scale climate disasters? Not just survived, but thrived. Humans spread across every continent during these harsh periods, adapting to local conditions and developing new technologies. Helen showed images of ancient human settlements built on stilts over water, carved into cliff faces and constructed in desert oases. Early humans lived everywhere from Arctic tundra to tropical rainforests. They learned to build shelters, make tools, and find food in every environment on Earth. The alien psychologists were taking frantic notes. An insectoid creature named Dr. Clixith clicked rapidly while his translator worked to keep up. Dr. Moore, these early settlements were built in locations we would classify as uninhabitable. How did primitive humans make such choices? Humans are naturally curious and adaptable. When resources became scarce in one area, they explored new territories. Even dangerous locations offered advantages like fresh water, fertile soil, or protection from predators. Helen displayed archaeological evidence of human settlements built directly on fault lines, near active volcanoes, and in floodplains. Many of our greatest cities were built in geologically active areas. The risks were worth the benefits these locations provided. She showed modern cities like San Francisco, built on earthquake fault lines, and Naples, located near an active volcano. Millions of people still choose to live in these areas today. Humans have learned to build structures that can withstand natural disasters. Professor Alan Grant joined the presentation to discuss human culture and recreation. Humans have always found ways to turn survival challenges into entertainment and competition. He showed footage of ancient Olympic games where humans ran races, threw heavy objects, and wrestled for sport. These activities began as survival skills but evolved into recreational competitions. Humans enjoy testing their physical limits against each other. The footage shifted to modern extreme sports. Humans jumped from bridges with elastic cords, surfed massive waves, and climbed frozen waterfalls using metal tools. Adventure tourism is a major industry. Humans pay money to experience dangerous situations in controlled environments. Dr. Kethrol's translator struggled with the concept. Humans exchange resources to voluntarily expose themselves to potentially lethal conditions? Absolutely. Mountain climbing, skydiving, and deep-sea diving are popular hobbies. The more challenging and dangerous the activity, the more prestigious it becomes among enthusiasts. Alan showed footage of humans climbing Mount Everest, the highest peak on Earth. Bodies of previous climbers who had died during the attempt were visible along the climbing route. Despite the obvious dangers, Hundreds of people attempt this climb every year. The death rate is significant, but it doesn't deter new climbers. The alien delegation watched in horror as humans crawled past frozen corpses to reach the summit, many suffering from altitude sickness and frostbite. Helen returned to discuss human art and literature. Human creativity is often inspired by conflict, survival, and overcoming impossible odds. She displayed examples of human artwork depicting battles, natural disasters, and heroic struggles against overwhelming forces. Our greatest stories celebrate characters who face terrible dangers and survive through courage, intelligence, and determination. The presentation included book covers and movie posters showing humans fighting monsters, surviving apocalyptic events, and exploring hostile alien worlds. Science fiction is particularly popular. Humans create imaginary scenarios where they face even worse conditions than Earth provides, then develop stories about surviving and conquering these challenges. Dr. Clixeth clicked rapidly in distress. Your entertainment industry creates fictional death worlds for recreational consumption? Horror movies are very popular too. Humans enjoy being frightened in safe environments. The more terrifying the scenario, the more successful the entertainment. Helen showed trailers from popular horror films where humans faced zombies, aliens, natural disasters, and supernatural threats. Audiences watch these films voluntarily, often while consuming snack foods and socializing with friends. Captain Jake Morrison entered to provide context about human cooperation and achievements. While Earth can be challenging, humans have learned to work together to overcome obstacles. He showed footage of international rescue operations with humans from different nations cooperating to save lives during earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. When disasters strike, humans immediately organize relief efforts. We send aid to affected areas regardless of political boundaries or cultural differences. The video showed rescue workers pulling survivors from collapsed buildings, delivering supplies to disaster zones, and rebuilding communities after devastation. Humans see natural disasters as problems to solve, not reasons to abandon affected areas. We rebuild stronger structures and develop better warning systems. Jake displayed images of cities that had been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times throughout history, each iteration more resilient than the last. San Francisco has been rebuilt after major earthquakes. New Orleans was reconstructed after massive flooding. Humans don't retreat from dangerous locations, we adapt them. Professor Grant concluded with human space exploration. Having mastered survival on Earth, humans now seek challenges in space. We're planning colonies on planets with no atmosphere, extreme temperatures, and deadly radiation. He showed concept art of Mars colonies, lunar bases, and generation ships designed to carry humans to other star systems. Humans view hostile environments as opportunities for growth and exploration. The more challenging the destination, the more determined we become to reach it. As the presentation ended, the alien delegation sat in stunned silence. Dr. Catherall finally spoke in a shaking voice. Dr. Moore, Captain Morrison, your species treats planetary-scale disasters as minor inconveniences and seeks out even greater challenges for entertainment. This suggests a fundamental disconnect from normal survival instincts. Helen looked confused. Is there something wrong with human culture? Dr. Catherall exchanged glances with his colleagues before responding. Dr. Moore, what you describe as normal human behavior, we classify as advanced Deathworld adaptation syndrome, combined with species-wide suicidal tendencies. That night, Dr. Catherall filed the cultural assessment report. His recommendation was unprecedented. Emergency upgrade to level 16 Deathworld classification required immediately. Human culture celebrates survival behaviors that should be impossible. Species demonstrates active preference for dangerous situations and treats global catastrophes as routine challenges. Recommend immediate quarantine of Sol system to prevent spread of this survival philosophy to other civilizations. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened 3 days after Dr. Catherall's cultural assessment report reached headquarters. Representatives from 8 47-member species gathered in the Grand Assembly Hall, their voices creating a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and electronic translations as they debated humanity's fate. Council Prime Ethrian, an ancient crystalline being whose species had founded the Galactic government millennia ago, called for order. The massive chamber fell silent as thousands of alien delegates focused on the central platform. Fellow members, we face an unprecedented situation. The humans of Sol 3 have been classified as a level 16 Deathworld species with capabilities that challenge our understanding of biological possibility. Delegate Mortex of the militaristic Zephyrian Empire stood to address the assembly. Council Prime, I propose immediate quarantine of the Sol system. These humans represent a clear threat to galactic stability. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The aquatic delegate from Oceanus Prime activated her water-filled speaking apparatus. The humans survive in conditions that would eliminate our entire species. If they expand beyond their world, they could colonize planets we consider uninhabitable and disrupt established territories. Ambassador Zekthara rose from the Volani delegation section. Honored colleagues, I have observed these humans directly. While their capabilities are disturbing, they have shown no aggressive intentions toward other species. That may change once they realize their advantages, countered Delegate Vorth of the Insectoid Hive Collective. A species that treats global catastrophes as entertainment cannot be trusted with galactic technology. Council Prime Ithurian was about to call for a formal quarantine vote when an urgent communication interrupted the proceedings. The main display activated, showing Captain Jake Morrison's face from Harmony Station. Honorable Council members, this is Captain Morrison of Earth's Diplomatic Corps. We've received your emergency debate notifications and request permission to address your concerns directly. The chamber erupted in surprised chatter. No species had ever requested to speak during their own threat assessment. Captain Morrison, Council Prime Ithurian replied carefully. You understand that this session is discussing potential containment measures for your species? Yes, sir. We're confused about why our normal way of life seems threatening to you. We'd like to help clear up any misunderstandings. Dr. Lisa Park appeared beside Jake on the transmission. Council members, we've prepared additional information that might address your concerns about human behavior and motivations. Council Prime Ethrian consulted with his advisors before responding. Very well. You may present your case, but understand that the evidence against your species is substantial. Lisa activated a presentation visible to the entire council chamber. Thank you. We want to explain why humans developed the way we did and how we use our abilities. The first image showed Earth from space, beautiful and blue against the darkness. Yes, Earth is challenging, but it's also our home. We don't see it as a death world, we see it as the place that made us who we are. She displayed footage of human families enjoying beaches, children playing in parks, and communities celebrating festivals, despite the environmental dangers surrounding them. We learned that working together makes us stronger than working alone. When earthquakes destroy cities, humans from around the world send help. When storms flood coastal areas, we share resources and rebuild together. The presentation shifted to show international disaster relief efforts with humans of different nations cooperating to save lives and restore communities. Our challenging environment taught us that helping others helps ourselves. We developed technology not just to survive, but to protect everyone. Captain Morrison took over the presentation. Our space program began because we wanted to protect Earth from asteroid impacts and solar storms. We didn't explore space to conquer it, but to better understand and protect our home. He showed footage of humans carefully studying other planets, taking samples and documenting alien life forms without disturbing them. When we found evidence of microbial life on Mars, we immediately established protection protocols to avoid contamination. We want to preserve life, not destroy it. Suddenly, alarm signals began sounding throughout the council chamber. Emergency broadcasts interrupted the transmission as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Council Prime announced the emergency. Coordinator, we're receiving distress calls from the Kepler 442 system. A massive solar flare has disabled their evacuation fleet. 12 billion Aquarians are trapped on their homeworld with no escape route. The chamber fell silent as the magnitude of the disaster became clear. The Aquarian species required precise, atmospheric conditions to survive, and their homeworld was about to be sterilized by solar radiation. How long before the flare reaches their planet? Asked Council Prime Ethrian. 18 hours, sir. Our nearest rescue fleet is 4 days away, even at maximum speed, Delegate Mortex spoke grimly. There's nothing we can do. The loss of life will be catastrophic, but our ships cannot operate in that level of radiation. Captain Morrison's voice cut through the despair. Council Prime, request permission to deploy human rescue vessels to assist the Aquarian evacuation. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Captain Morrison, Etherian replied, our most advanced ships cannot survive those conditions. How could human vessels possibly help? Our ships are built to operate during solar storms because we deal with them regularly on Earth. We can modify our cargo vessels to carry Aquarian-compatible atmosphere and reach the system in 16 hours. Dr. Lisa Park added, we've been monitoring the situation through our deep space network. Our computers have already calculated optimal evacuation routes and identified temporary shelters on radiation-shielded moons in that system. Without waiting for Council approval, Jake activated his communicator. Harmony Station to Earth Command. Emergency deployment authorization requested for Operation Lifeline. We have 12 billion civilians who need immediate evacuation from incoming solar radiation. Authorized, Captain Morrison, came the immediate reply. Fleet Admiral Chen is deploying 12 heavy cargo vessels with radiation shielding modifications. Emergency life support systems are being installed for Aquarian atmospheric requirements. The Council watched in amazement as human ships began launching from Earth within minutes of receiving the emergency call. The vessels moved with purpose and speed that impressed even the most advanced galactic civilizations. Ambassador Zekthara stood slowly. Council Prime, the humans are already en route to save lives that we declared unsavable. Over the next 18 hours, the Galactic Council watched human rescue operations unfold. Earth ships arrived at the Aquarian homeworld just as the solar radiation reached dangerous levels. Working in conditions that would have killed most galactic species, human crews evacuated entire cities to temporary shelters on protected moons. When the rescue was complete, Captain Morrison appeared again on the Council transmission. Council. Prime, all 12 billion Aquarians have been safely evacuated. Our crews are standing by to help with permanent relocation efforts. The chamber remained silent for a long moment before Council Prime Etherian spoke. Captain Morrison, your species has demonstrated something we failed to recognize. Your abilities were not developed for conquest, but for protection. Ambassador Zekthara added, we were terrified of what your Deathworld had created, but we never considered that it might have created the galaxy's greatest protectors. Council Prime Etherian made the formal announcement. The Sol system is hereby classified as a Level 16 Deathworld, with the human species designated as Emergency. Response Specialist. Earth is invited to join the Galactic Council with full membership status. Jake smiled as he looked at the thousands of alien delegates. Thank you, Council Prime. Earth accepts membership, and we look forward to helping keep everyone safe. As the transmission ended, the Council realized that humanity's greatest strength was not their ability to survive impossible conditions, but their instinct to help others do the same.